Neil and Maya, I want you to listen to Trump's attorney, John Lauro, what he had to say on Fox on Thursday.
Ultimately, what President Trump said is, let's go with option D. Let's just halt. Let's just pause the voting and allow the state legislatures to take one last look and make a determination as to whether or not the elections were handled fairly. That's constitutional law. That's not an issue of criminal activity.
Neil, was that a defense, or did he just admit that Trump committed a crime?
He admitted it, and it's something that Donald Trump himself has admitted earlier. So I don't think that that attorney made any particular news in that statement. But basically, what they're both saying is Trump exercised his First Amendment rights. And what Jack Smith has done in this brilliant indictment at page 2 is head that off right away, saying Trump could believe whatever the heck he wants, but you can't go and be ordering people to basically have fake electors in 7 states and try and disrupt the most solemn count our nation has on January 6th and the like. Those are crimes. This was an attempted coup. It's illegal every day of every week.
And Maya, but that's what makes this admission by Lauro so incredible. He's saying, the president has free speech, but here's the action that he took that makes this a crime.
Not only that, this is Jack Smith addresses this directly in the indictment. He says, number one, the former president is free to lie, but he's not free to take an act to block the vote counting. And in the indictment asserts the very opposite, actually, of what Mr. Lauro said, which is also a crime. Both of them are. It's an admission. But in the indictment, he says, Donald Trump says to Pence, do one of these two things that co-conspirator 2, John Eastman, said, either send them back to the states or just unilaterally block them. Pence says, your own lawyer is telling you I don't have the power to do this, meaning Eastman. Mm-hmm. And then Trump says, that's okay, because I actually like the other option better. And the other option is just unilaterally declare me president.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of the co-conspirators, 6 co-conspirators are mentioned in this indictment. The first 5 have been identified, but Mark Meadows is noticeably missing. And I bring this up because paragraph 55 in the indictment caught my eye, and it addresses the plan to expand the fake elector scheme and states, quote, this expansion was forecast by emails the defendant's chief of staff sent on December 6th, forwarding the Wisconsin memo to campaign staff and writing, we just need to have someone coordinating the electors for states. Neil, after reading that, how can Mark Meadows not be considered a co-conspirator?
Yeah, I think that Mark Meadows is deep in it. And, that's, I think, the findings of the January 6th committee. But yet he's not in the indictment. We're all trying to figure out exactly what's going on. There are 6 other people, as you say, who were named as or identified as co-conspirators, but not Mark Meadows. That's some suggestion that he's cooperating with Jack Smith. He may not have flipped, but he is cooperating. He's facing criminal exposure and probably trying to work out some sort of arrangement.
I want to get both Neil and you, Anthony, on this. But, Anthony, I'll come to you first. You believe this trial should be televised. Why?
I do. I think the bright light of transparency is the best disinfectant against misinformation. And there are 1 of 2 ways to do this, Jonathan. The first is that the Judicial Conference of the United States, that's the policymaking body of federal judges, they can change the rules. They meet semi-annually. The next meeting is in September. It should be on the top of the list. The second way to do it is via an act of Congress. And so if the Judicial Conference doesn't take that action, my hope is that Congress does. And Neil wrote an amazing op-ed about this in the Washington Post on Thursday. Neil, the only bone I have to pick with your op-ed is that I didn't write it first. But other than that, it was pretty perfect.
Well, Neil, since your name has been invoked, and I was coming to you on this because you did write an op-ed in the Washington Post, which went online. What is today? The 4th, the 5th? It went online on Thursday. So what was your argument?
Yeah, so Anthony, first of all, you inspired the op-ed, even if you didn't write it. And
thank you.
The basic argument is the criminal trial in this case is the most important trial of our lifetimes, one of the handful of most important cases in the history of the United States. And this trial is in the name of the American people. And it is paid for by our tax dollars. This court is paid for by our tax dollars. We, the people, have an absolute right to see it. And one important reason is because Trump is a master of disinformation, a master of whipping up rumor mongers and conspiracy theorists. And all of that's going to happen unless this trial is televised. It's going to happen anyway. But the best antidote to that is our great Justice Louis Brandeis said, sunlight is the best disinfectant. Let the American public watch this trial for themselves. Trump's attorney notably said he supports cameras in the courtroom for this trial. I suspect that Donald Trump will walk away from that because he's afraid of sunlight the way that vampires are afraid of sunlight and garlic. But, he said it for now. And, I think we should take him up on that and get this trial televised. The American people deserve it.